is Jackie, and I am here with Emily Wolfe, who just released her new single, Lips. How would you say this song was born? Was it a bridge, the riff, the melody? How did it come about?
Yeah, it came about. I wrote it with a producer named Gavin Brown and Jesse Hughes from Eagles of Death Metal. Um, and we were in the studio, and Gavin had this guitar lick, um, and it reminded me a lot of like the 80s. And so I was like, we should write something like "Take Me Home Tonight" by Eddie Money, and then like that was like kind of the lane we went down, and I had these verses and all these different ways of saying, let's make out in the verses. And then Jesse came in with like the crux and the chorus of like, this is what you're saying, and it's just like, I'm coming for you. So it was really easy to write, and it was one of those things that I hadn't really done before. Like I've written with people in the past, but never like this, like from scratch before. So yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
And Take Me Home is a very specific song, but I get it. I hear the influence there when you say that. What does it say about where you are sonically right now?
I think it's there's like a more of a focus in this new chapter of my life. Like there's it's just rock. I'm just going down the rock lane. Because it's what I've really always wanted to do. And I have done rock in the past, and it's been like my thing. Like guitar has been the thread through all of my songs, but there have been a lot of other influences in the past, like pop and blues and things that I've cherry picked from that I like, but this is just very like straightforward rock. So
well, I'm glad that you've solidified that, because I think I've watched some clips of your live performances and I'm like, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I also read that Lips is the first single off your next album.
Yeah.
When do fans expect that?
Gosh, I don't know. I think what we'll do, I think what we'll do is keep releasing like singles until I guess the label's ready to release a full thing. I've got a bunch of songs in the can, and a lot of it's recorded, and I feel like sometime in this year or early next, it'll be, there'll be a lot more music out. So
I think that's what's interesting about the music scene this year, and maybe in the past, like, I don't know, 12, 15 months, is that I think we continue to evolve away from the album being what has to come out. And if it's a single, if it's an EP, if it's just a collection, I don't think fans are really like, it has to be an album. Do you feel like there's a change, or at least less pressure to make sure it's a full album before it's ready?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is like, because before, yeah, I guess like this whole cycle with Lips, and then the other single that came out with it called Crave Me. Before that, I had done just albums, and now, yeah, like it's almost like if you release a full album, it's like people don't have time to sit there and listen to the whole thing, and they forget about it. So it's like we're in a busy time, and like nobody has time to do anything anymore. So like releasing one or two songs while people have a second, is the way to go. So yeah.
Definitely makes sense. The song you mentioned was a collaboration with Jesse Hughes from Eagles of Death Metal. How do you think the song benefited from that collaboration?
Oh my gosh. It really it made it super like cool. And not to say that it wasn't cool without Jesse, but he brought this like really like kind of gritty, like whoa, kind of uniqueness to it. But I've been a fan of him forever, and so it definitely wouldn't have sounded the way it does. Like I remember we were working on the song, and he pulled out one of his guitars, and it immediately sounded like Eagles of Death Metal, and I was like, how does that happen? Like, because like everybody has a sound, but it's just like it was like I put on a Eagles of Death Metal album. I was like, this is nuts, like to just be seeing this. So it probably would have been a lot different, you know? But yeah, yeah.
Is there anybody else you're eyeing to collaborate with this time around?
Gosh. You know, I don't know. I'm actually like a pretty big fan of like the label's got Alien Ant Farm and like I actually really love their stuff. So that'd be fun.
In fact, I just interviewed Dredden a few weeks ago.
Really?
Let's make that happen.
That's,
I like that.
that'd be tight.
Of the songs that you mentioned you already have recorded, do you feel that your writing is currently more autobiographical or referencing other people?
I think it's less about me than it's ever been, which is kind of great because like after a while you get that, you know, I just like I'm like, oh, enough of me. Like, shut up. Shut up. um so like yeah, it's like it's something that Gavin taught me about writing was like you just got to write songs to where people can listen to them and see themselves in those songs. And I knew that, but it never really registered with me in that way. And so I think now, like with what I'm writing, it's just very like, okay, what do I feel? But like, what is everybody else feeling too? As opposed to like, just like, here's my diary, you know, look at me, I'm sad, you know? So oh yeah. So it's definitely more about like I guess the collective and not necessarily just me.
So, where in the process do you find the most catharsis? In the songwriting, the recording, or the performing?
Oh man, definitely the performing. That's like my favorite thing to do. It's the best. It's like so loud, like the stage like vibrates under your feet and like it's just it's the best. And then there's energy from the crowd and then the band and like it's yeah, I have to perform live like as much as possible because I kind of go crazy if I don't. So definitely playing live.
It looks fun.
It's
I'm
really fun.
going to take your word for it because it looks very fun. You've been playing the guitar and drums since you were very small. Has it always been what you wanted to do? Like, I want to be a rock star when I grow up. Was that you, or did you want to be something else at some point?
I always wanted to do music. I was really shy as a kid, so I didn't really think that I could voice that until like college. Like I didn't really sing in front of anybody until I was like 20. Um, and so I knew I always wanted to do it, but I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work out, but like I'm just gonna see what happens and play as much music as I can. Um, and there were like other like things that I thought maybe I could do, like maybe I could be an astronaut, maybe I could be an architect, but like that was very short lived. And I would always come back to like wanting to play music. So
Well, is there any part of it, especially because you are such an experienced musician, is there anything that's still difficult?
like musically or like
Yeah,
like
yeah, because I think, hearing that someone has been playing the guitar since she was 5 years old, like that's amazingly impressive. And it sounds like this has just always been who you are and what you do. And it should be easy, right? In every sense of the word, being a musician should be easy for you. But is there
yeah.
anything that is difficult along the way or challenging?
Yeah, I think the most difficult thing about it is like the unknowns of like performing. But like then there's the flip side of it, which like I do get an adrenaline rush from that. Like at any moment, this electricity could fail and the show would be over. My amp could die at any second and this would be terrible. You know, like people could like have bought tickets to the wrong show and they have like no idea who I am. And it's like, you know, they could leave like there's so many different like unknowns about like, you know, if gear's gonna fail or if, you know, like just touring in general. But that's also like kind of the fun part about it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm sick. I don't know. Maybe that's like
I think we have, we're just anxious people by trade, and it's just, you I think you would be amiss to like not think about what could happen, but also be like, look, the chances of that happening are very, very slim. But
yeah.
like, let me make sure, like, do I have a plan B? Do I have I'm gonna play the acoustic guitar if my if my amp goes, we'll just do an unplugged, or
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's par for the course. Just I'm sure you're not letting it, keep you up at night of like what happens if the power goes out.
True.
Now, your live shows, and for those folks watching this that have not caught you live, please do so very soon. Your live show is very full of energy, so I get the catharsis there. Are you trying to capture any of that essence when you record, or are you just gonna I'm gonna save it for the live show?
That's a really good question because actually before I met Jesse and before I watched how he is in the studio, I was very much like, I'm gonna save that for my live stuff. And then in the studio, I'll sing it, as perfect as I can, and it'll be great. And then I watched Jesse perform, and he like did not care at all what was going on. Like he was just like, this is how I feel. I'm gonna do it. And I was like, wait a minute. He is performing in the studio the same way he's performing live. I should do that too. And like it seems like an easy concept to grasp, but it didn't, like the shoe didn't drop for me until I saw him do it and like realize that it's actually awesome to like do that. um so yeah, it used to be that way, but now it's like, okay, we're just going just regular me in every scenario. So.
I love that. I love that. You are one of many amazing women in rock. If you could kind of pull together your dream tour, who would you kind of take with you on the road?
Oh my gosh. Like a bill? Like
Yes.
okay, let's see. I think what I would do is it would be like me, um, like Haley Williams and like Heart or something.
Ooh, I would buy tickets for that in a heartbeat, no pun intended. Um,
Yeah.
with new music coming out and it being 2026 and all, how do you stay, or how do you deal with and manage social media when it comes to like sharing, hey, I've got this new song out, and hey, I'm touring, but also like not wanting to be an inauthentic kind of like commercial?
Yeah. It's really hard. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. And so I have to go to friends and my partner and my manager and be like, is this crazy? Like there's like car fires everywhere, but like here's my new single, it's like um yeah, I don't know. I think the key maybe is to like, I know like when I open social media, the last thing I want is to be sold something. And so kind of the only thing that I can think to do is to like, well, I guess maybe other people don't want that either. And so I just kind of try to perform and post that and be like, here you go. You know? um, Instead of like, do this, stream this, buy that. Like it's very, like I try to stay away from the like action items because it's like to me, like everywhere we go, people are telling us what to do and everybody has opinions and like it's just so much. And so I think the only way to do it is just like to perform and then put it out on the internet. So
That makes sense to me. And you are performing a lot coming up. What does the rest of 2026 look like for you, especially as far as touring?
yeah. So I'm gonna be opening a few shows with Youngblood and The Warning at the end of this month in May. And then I'm gonna go on a short tour. It's actually announcing next week. But with my buddy Brian, I'm not sure I can say many details about it yet. But
We won't get you in trouble then.
okay, great. In June, and then I've got a tour with the Toadies in October, and then some other things are starting to pop up that haven't been announced yet. But pretty solid year for touring, I'd say.
Excellent. Well, be sure to catch Emily Wolfe live. This is Jackie. Thanks to Chorus FM and In the Key of Change.